was you know, all the hoo-ha about Charlie Watts about a month ago. Um, you know, Mick Prick Jagger and Reefer Richards do 1 or 2 minute tributes to their drummer of 60 years. They, it's like, oh yeah, we miss him, and he was the heart of the Stones, and he was the Stones. The poor bastard hasn't even started. Well, he has started mouldering in his grave, but he's barely partially decomposed, and the fuckers are out on the road making another $1 billion with the stupid fucking schmucks paying the money to see two Peter Pans. Mick Prickshagger and Reefer Richards are Peter Pans. They're not adults. They're stuck at about the age of 17, with the faces of, bog people from Denmark, or those things from Egypt. Actually, I got thrown out of the British Museum in '78 for filming one of them corpses things, and anyway, I've still got it on film. You weren't supposed to do it. Anyway, yeah, so they're on the road with probably Kenny Jones, because he probably got kicked out of the Who, so now they've probably got Kenny Jones playing drums. Yes, well, we miss him. 60 years in the band, the heart and the soul of the band, and we'd be nowhere without him. Well, they would be nowhere without Charlie, and they'd be nowhere without Ian Stewart. They'd be nowhere without Brian Jones. They were the three original members of the Rolling Stones. And the two pretenders that came in, and well, thank God they did, because otherwise those other three would just be boring, nothings. But I'm getting all excited. It's this cheap flag and wine that only the lowest of the low drink. I remember once I was living in Darlinghurst, and living off of my bank card because I got retrenched by the richest man in Australia. I was so desperate one day for a drink, I went to Gilligan's Island, which was a famous roundabout at Darlinghurst where all the winos were, and they were all chugging away, and I thought, I've got to have a drink. And this old wino said, give us a whip and go of that. It looked like orange juice. I went, oh, Christ. It was called an orange stinger, methylated spirits and orange juice. So, yeah, so much for Charlie in his 60 years of service. Sadly forgotten. We'll never be the same without him. And the dirty fuckers are out on the road raking in the billions already. I don't blame them. They're Peter Pans with the faces of gargoyles. But they're immature. They've never grown up. They've never, ever had a proper job, ever. And cutting to the chase, I did actually get to see them. I was supposed to see them in '65, worked my ass off at Woolies to get the money, and they sold out. But so I got to see them right between Exiles and Goat's Head Soup, and they were atrocious, absolutely abysmal. I'd seen Led Zeppelin a couple of months previously, and Led Zeppelin were unreal. They were so on the mark, except when they do that sitting down on chairs and playing banjos and shit. Fuck that. But the we've had a few tornado things around here, and the internet keeps going off. Yeah, Led Zeppelin were unbelievable in that '72. Yeah, and they were awful. We were right down the front. We taped the concert, and when we played it back the next day, we went, yeah, it was shit. Keith was totally off his face on Smack. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, I just think it really angers me. But we were down the front, and they were so out of it. We snuck around the back of the stage, and I knew Charlie looked a bit funny there for a minute, and I thought, I'll just have a quick look at his drum kit, And he left the stage and rushed off in a hurry, and he'd shat his pants. It's Charlie Watts's diarrhea from 1973, preserved. I've kept it in a. You wouldn't expect Charlie to wear these sorts of undies, would you? But they are stylish. I've kept them in one of those hermetically sealed jars in a temperature-controlled room. It's just in that room over there. See where I'm pointing? Maybe you'd like to come in with me and see where I keep these things. Hmm?